of people were just they were fucking
out
funny.
there
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah,
So those are the two main characters. Obviously, Sho'nuff is, we'll
Wait.
get into his character during the story, I guess.
Well, then here you go. Here's Chris Murney. He was Eddie Arcadian, okay, or Arcadian. He was in Barton Fink. In another movie that he was in that you will not recognize him, and I'll give everybody a second, Maximum Overdrive. He was the Bible salesman in Maximum Overdrive. They got hit by the car.
Nice.
Yes.
I didn't make that connection.
Fucking crazy kind of weird deal. Because now that I look at him, I'm like, holy shit, that's him. He put on a lot of weight at that point.
He also did a great job of acting his very over-the-top part.
Yeah.
I mean, he was villain who owns a video production company.
Yeah,
No, he doesn't. He owns a video game
video
company.
players.
Video game company.
One of his video players is actually in the pizza parlor.
Okay.
That Sho'nuff, he's like, who put on this crap?
Yeah, and he
And he
kicks
like
doesn't
kicks
he
the
hand,
deal.
isn't there a point where he hands those girls a bunch of quarters? Because
Yeah,
he
to
owns
go
a bunch
play.
of chain of arcades.
Yeah,
is what I
because
thought.
he's like back behind a
Yeah.
video games deal.
But he puts those players in.
Yeah.
He puts them in places.
So you can. So they're like video jukeboxes.
Gotcha.
But
gotcha.
you don't
So,
get to pick
yeah.
what it plays. It just plays
Yeah.
what he wants, like ads. It's
Because
like an ad.
even
Right.
Leroy Green Sr. is like, I don't even own that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty funny. Leo O'Brien was Richie Green. He was his little brother, which he was in Rappin' in New Jack City. He was actually one of the brothers from the original Sugar Hill Gang too,
Yeah.
Oh,
which
cool.
is another weird kind of a connection. Pretty cool. So
What's
is,
the woman's name?
which one? Vanity.
Vanity.
Yeah,
So-
Vanity. She was in Action Jackson.
So actually, that would be like the end of Vanity's story to me.
Yeah.
Because she did a lot of videos with Prince and
Okay.
worked with Prince and had her own musical career and had some like top 50 songs or something. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Nothing really
And-
too major.
Yeah. I mean, I think she had a couple that probably got way up there because it was the 80s.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And this is right after she left Prince and his people and went over to Motown.
Okay.
So
it was
sense.
Put her in the movie.
Yeah, it was a good deal to put her in because she had Seventh Heaven.
Right.
Even her little deal, and we'll get
What's
into
the-
that too.
what's
But
the
real
kid's
quick,
name?
Real quick before we get there.
Kid's name?
No, before the kid's name.
Oh, well, the
was,
kid's name was
more
Larry.
Vanity.
He
New Jack City.
no, he was
Sugar Hill Gang.
What?
I'm trying to get you. I'm trying to jog your memory.
jog it.
Okay,
Well,
I'm done.
All
Okay.
I'm saying is the little boy. What's his name? The little brother of Leroy Green,
Leo O'Brien.
Leo O'Brien. He really wants to bang that chick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
big time.
hardcore.
Yeah,
we'll
he
get
thinks
into
he's
that.
gonna.
We'll get into that.
He's like, that's my girl. And then you got Faith Prince. She was Angela Veracco. She was
I think we should go back to Vanity real quick because
Okay,
we didn't
okay.
really talk about her character.
No.
Yeah.
If we're gonna give build-ups to characters, that
Sure,
makes sense,
sure.
right?
yeah.
She, of course, was in Action Jackson.
Yes. Yeah.
Right after that,
Yeah.
1986.
Yeah.
So that was the next year.
Yeah.
I think, or maybe it was 85, and they were the same year.
I know they were really
Really
close.
close.
Yeah. It's
But
when Apollo Creed fights the mutants from Planet
Yes.
7. Action Jackson.
At any rate, she is like the hostess of like a Soul Train,
Yeah.
but it's not Soul Train.
Yeah, it's like
like
the most
80s
low
pop.
rent Soul Train
Everybody's
ever.
wearing their like best digs while they're showing their sweet dance moves. You know,
Yeah, and playing DeBarge.
Yeah, I got confused about that. I'm like, what the fuck is going on all of a sudden? But I figured it out that it's like a television show where
Yeah.
she like a Top of the Pops or
And
whatever.
then every one of her
Absolutely.
major picks makes it onto her show.
Right.
They're the ones that actually she's supposed to help them further their
just like
career,
all
it
those
seems
other
like.
shows where like American Bandstand,
Sure,
things
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
And then she's the one who kind of has the romantic interest with the older brother Leroy Green, but that leads into the woman, right, who wants to get on the show.
Yeah, Faith Prince.
Faith Prince.
She's Angela Veracco. She is basically Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, it's basically.
Yeah.
like Cindy Lauper.
She's Cyndi Lauper in her songs like what was it, Dirty Books,
Yeah.
and then Test Drive.
Yeah, Test Drive. That was the one I was thinking.
She's got some fucking weird shit, and Arcadians just all over. Just like, oh, you're gonna make it, honey bunch, and then it's what the fuck? Why is he pushing her so hard? And
I don't
even what was his name? Martin Starr,
Mike Starr.
Mike Starr. God, he's still sweaty even in this. It's like
Yeah,
he never stops sweating.
Most people probably know him from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
As the bad guy from Dumb and Dumber, Mentalini or whatever his last name is. This guy's
But
whack mental.
yeah, what's weird too is like
He was in Miller's Crossing too.
yeah, he is such an imposing figure, but his character is so subdued.
Right.
It's like, if
Kind
you
of
would
a
have put
bum-
this much love into my career, I would have maybe been in Vegas by now. You know, it's like, what the fuck? And he looks like he's crying sometimes.
And what's with the like? He feeds the at the beginning. He feeds the
What the fuck is
bubbling
that?
water.
Yeah, it's
shark.
like a man-eating fish or
It's like a
something.
Like a
piranha.
leg of lamb or something.
yeah. Looks all rotten too.
Yeah, it's all gross. Gross as shit. And then
But we'll get into that.
then you got Glenn Eaton. He was Johnny Yu. He was the kid that or one of the students that mastered the art of fighting without knowing how to fight.
Yeah, that was like the Scott Baio of Asian people.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know if that's racist. I'm not trying to make it that way.
No.
He does.
But-
Yeah. He was the Scott Baio.
Of all Asian
Yeah.
people, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry that happened to
Yeah.
you, Asian people.
Now there's
Well, what's
there's
that? That movie Action Jackson was 88.
Was it 88?
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
a few years later then.
Yeah.
so there's three people in this movie that have been in a lot of movies and that had a lot of influence at different things. Chaz Palminteri, which he was a limo driver, so he was just in it really quick, which is kind of a weird deal. When you know him, you're like, why is he here?
Yeah,
In such
so
a
quick.
bit role, you
Yeah,
know?
right.
William H. Macy. This was his
His
first
Yeah.
role.
He has
Right.
this little bit role, and I'm like, holy shit! It's fucking William H. Macy.
It doesn't look like he's ever aged until you look at him now, and then you're like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
he has aged quite a bit. And then Ernie Reyes Jr.
Yeah, that's who I want to talk about.
Yeah, major choreographer, you know, for the
Teenage
90s.
Mutant
Yeah,
Ninja Turtles.
TMNT.
So once again, going back to our TMNT2 tie-in to somehow all of our podcasts.
Everything.
Somehow.
It's all connected.
So also at this time, so he had done a. This was the movie I was thinking of that I don't know which came out first because I think they both came out at the same year. Red Sonja.
Yes.
He played Prince Tam.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he was also had his own. He had a special. It was an ABC Disney special back when they used to do that on Sundays. You know, like
Okay.
Yeah.
in the evening they'd play a Disney special, and it's original. It was called The Last Electric Night, and it's basically like him. That obviously he's
Ernie
young,
Reyes Jr. Yeah,
but
Right.
in 1985,
yeah.
and
He's 7.
his grandfather or something gets told he has to send him somewhere because he's too old to take care of him by like DHS or something.
Yeah.
And so he sends him to this detective friend of him, and so then they solve crimes together and overcome things.
Like Gleaming the Cube.
But he has martial arts skills all over the place, like
Oh,
in this, so he's
cool.
BA. And so from that actually spawned a TV show that was on for, I think,
He
2 or
did
3
have a
seasons
TV
called
show.
Sidekicks.
That's
it was
right.
the same show. It was just like a spin-off of it. Or
but not
the-
tied into the movie Sidekicks with
No.
Chuck Norris
No, not
No,
at all, not at
no,
all.
no.
and Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah. But
Sidekicks 1, 2, or 3.
yeah, Reyes has been in a lot of
there's just
stuff. He's
one.
also
I thought there was 3.
No, there's just
I'm
the
thinking
one.
3 ninjas. Never mind.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're thinking Three
he was in
Ninjas.
Surf Ninjas.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah. There you go. Surf
There you go.
Ninjas. Yeah.
Tying it all back together. Ernie Reyes is badass.
Yeah. He was a badass in this fucking movie too, man.
I know. I love
Kicking
that
the shit
dude.
out of
When
people.
I was a little kid, I'm like, oh man, I want to be like Ernie Reyes.
Yeah,
I didn't know his name was Ernie Reyes because I
Yeah.
just knew whatever his character.
Yeah,
was
he was
on
in. He was
stuff.
in so many things. Yeah, I always remember from Red Sonja too, where he's a spoiled little brat. You know, Prince. You know, that has to follow Red Sonja because she saves his ass all the time.
Right.
And then now that we've gone through there, I mean, those are the principal actors. Of course, you have Leroy Green's dad. You have pretty much everybody. There's just
Mom.
His dad
Yeah.
was kind of had been in some things. I think.
yeah. I
Like
didn't
I
really,
recognized him. I didn't look it up or
Yeah.
anything, but I was like, hey, I've seen him in things.
You know
Well,
who
didn't you
else?
mention- Didn't you just mention his name?
No, that was his little brother. Was the one that I was talking about.
Oh, what about the Master?
No, that was his master at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd probably been in a lot of things too.
No,
but
he
there's
has been.
Not, yeah.
There was like one thing specifically. I don't remember what it was offhand
but
that caught my eye, but I know I've seen him in a lot of things. He was also in the movie. Oh, Michael Keaton, 80s. The Japanese people come.
oh my God, Gung Ho.
Gung Ho, yes.
Ooh, that's the death of the Union.
Yes.
the death of the Union movie.
But yeah, so he was in that as well. I remember
well,
that.
Keisha Knight Pullman's in this too.
Yeah, she is.
she just for a bit role.
So just so you know who Keisha Knight Pullum is, she was Rudy on the Cosbys.
yes, very bit role. She was still young enough that she probably started that TV show after this.
Oh,
very soon
right
afterwards, where
there,
she was
yeah.
still little. There was a lot of very. It was kind of a good. How do you say? Springboard for some people. Not
Yeah.
many, because most everybody did TV afterwards, like
Right.
Sho'nuff. Even Vanity really didn't do much.
Jim,
Well, I mean, you still had 3 years before she was on Action Jackson, so I'm sure she was doing
Yeah.
fine. And she had a
Yeah.
music career.
Yeah, she was doing music and stuff like
so
that.
who
yeah.
cares? I mean, I'm sure she did fine. I think. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Jim,
I mean,
Jim Moody and Esther Green play the Mama Green and the Daddy Green.
Daddy Green,
Yeah.
Jim Moody.
Jim Moody.
Well, I didn't really do a lot of research on those guys because they weren't that important to me.
There's not a lot of.
Well,
that
I was looking kind of at the music too. Misha Siegel, he's a big famous composer. He's done tons of different kind of soundtracks for things, but one notable for that one was the Human Centipede 3. He did the music for.
Okay.
Which is weird. I just put that because that's just such an odd kind of a deal.
Never seen any of those movies.
Me neither.
I think I've seen the first one.
No. The feed is the only thing I.
Um,
And then the cinematography was James A. Conter. He did Jaws 3D, a lot of Miami Vice. He also directed a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer episodes. Edited by Christopher Holmes, The Patriot extended version, Tears of the Sun, Conan. That guy he did a lot of good editing for it. I mean, and the movie is edited well, so there's not a lot of crazy cuts and there's not a lot of stupid wipes.
No, it's pretty clean.
Yeah. I mean, it
there's
flows
some-
really well.
Definitely some dated special effects down the road.
Yeah. And they didn't really use a lot of special stuff. I mean, there wasn't a lot of like wire fighting and stuff. Ron Van Cleef, he was the trainer. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, he was Leroy Green's trainer.
But in real life.
But in real life, yeah. And I think he did
Timeless.
some of the deal. So let's get into this movie. Let's talk the massive cheese of this movie. It's one of those movies that I did grow up with, and that it was always there. And I remember so many people being like, "That movie's so badass. We got to watch it again." You know, you go to your video store and you rent fucking Barry Gordy's Last Dragon. Why the fuck not, right? That or The Wiz.
the fight
And-
choreographer. He's just the fight choreographer. Let's
Yeah,
just make sure.
yeah.
Fight choreographer on The Last Dragon.
I mean, the way it starts off, really, that training montage. And then they use a lot of the superimposed kind of stuff. And, I mean, they don't really get into the glow part of it because he hasn't achieved the glow.
Right.
Spoiler alert.
I do like the beginning, like when you're coming into the movie and he's training,
Yeah.
and you kind of know he's a badass right away. Because one, it's cool he breaks the arrows, and then he catches the one, and what really gets you is that the next interaction is, how did you know that one was blue?
Yeah.
So you just realize that he was breaking the arrows that were a certain color and catching the blue one.
Yes. Yeah,
That's
and
pretty badass,
well,
dude.
and the thing about it is too is he really actually did karate chop that one
That's
Yeah,
what
arrow.
I was going to say. Is
Yeah.
they,
Of course he
they
did.
practiced that.
They
is
practiced
what I
that. It was
read,
like
yeah.
it took like 2 hours to do or something crazy.
I'm sure.
Real stunt
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool kind of a deal. And his master's basically like, well, guess what? Yeah, you're pretty good. Rips off his little deal and shit. You know,
And
he's
he
like,
falls to his knees,
Yeah.
and that's where you find out kind of how humble his character is
Yeah.
right up front.
he still thinks he needs a lot more work.
Yeah, he's not confident in
Yeah.
himself at all.
No, and
No.
that was the last, because the last dragon he had on his T-shirt.
Yeah.
His actual T-shirt, he had a patch on it. I mean, did he glue it on? What the fuck?
I
Was
don't
that the only
know.
thing
I
he
like
trained
sewed.
in?
It
I
was
like that he
sewed.
had a circle of them, and
Yeah.
like, this is the last one. I think he just plans that to get people out of there.
Yeah, so that's it. See you later.
I
I'm
think
gonna
you're
go
right.
visit my mom in Miami. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then the one top circle has nothing in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So is that the
That's-
end circle or the beginning
That's
circle?
the dragon. That's
Yeah.
the last one. That's why
Yeah.
he had that in his
He had the
hand.
last dragon. That's
Right.
where the whole movie comes from. You know, and it's kind of funny that they're on a houseboat or a house building
Yeah.
in the middle of the Hudson.
Yeah.
So-
I don't
somewhere.
know,
Yeah.
something.
And he looks apart. Bruce Leroy looks a part of
Yeah.
somebody living that
Right.
life.
Right.
He has the hat, which is strange. Wearing that big giant hat in the middle of New York, and you know he feels stupid because you could just see it in his face when he's walking through the crowds and stuff.
I don't know. I don't know that he felt stupid. He looked pretty comfortable in it. I think he was just again, just not a confident guy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
altogether. And this was his first deal, so I bet you he was pretty humble that he was actually getting filmed on
Right.
camera, which is awesome.
Right.
You know, anybody's first time doing something like that, and it's produced by fucking Motown.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you think it'd be cool? You
I
know,
mean,